This video is going to be all about brows. I'm gonna break down step by step how to prep the brows, fill in the brows, and snatch the brows. I'm gonna be sharing a couple of tips and tricks. Don't go nowhere, I'll be right back. When it comes to prepping the brows, I recommend that you allow your brows to totally grow out. Just make sure that you have a very good set of tweezers. In addition to using my tweezer, this is the one I have from Revlon, I also use this. This is from a brand called Twinkle, and I like to use these to get rid of that, facial hair that you don't want, and also to clean above the brow. I do not recommend that you use this for under the brow because this skin is very loose. You're gonna risk cutting yourself. This I use above the brow. This I'm gonna use underneath the brow. Before you start trying to pluck those hairs under the brow that do not follow your natural brow line, to make it easier for those hairs to stick out, I recommend that you make this face. When you make this face, those hairs are going to stick out more and they'll be easier for you to pluck them out. It is your preference how full, how thin you want your brow. There is a famous trick. Here's the trick. You want to take a pencil, any type of pencil, pen, it doesn't matter as long as it's something straight. Put it on the side of your nose. Am I straight? I don't think I'm straight. I don't think I'm straight. Okay. Wherever the tip of that pencil meets at your brow, that's going to be your starting point. You can do a little mark there if you want to help, especially your first time. I do recommend you do that. Take the same pencil. This time you're going to slant it towards the end of your brow. You want the pencil to touch your nose and meet the end of the brow. That's going to be your end point. You don't have to follow this. I personally don't, but it did help me at the beginning. So if you are just starting off with brows, I want to share that tip with you. After you have plucked underneath and, kind of shaved above and whatever other places you need to shave, I don't know. When it comes to filling in your brow with color, people use different things. Some people prefer a powder, some people prefer a pencil, and some people prefer a pomade. There's also the option to apply a tinted brow gel. For me personally, I prefer to use a pencil, a pomade, and a clear brow setting gel to set everything in place. You have these options and you gotta play around with it a little bit to figure out what's your preference. Some people have very, very bushy brows, and some of us have unruly brows where they don't sit still. They move around a lot. If you have bushy, unruly brows, I recommend that you get some kind of a brow shaping wax. This one, it happens to be from Milani. This is about $7. It's going to keep your brows in place when you apply it. That's all this does. In order to fill in my brows, I'm going to use my tried and true. This is the Benefit Precisely My Brow. I use the shade 4.5, and I'm also going to use the Benefit KaBrow. This is the shade 4. I'm gonna zoom in for this part of the video. All right, so you see my raccoon eyes here. Please bear with me. It's very hard for me to do this shit in front of a little ass camera. The first thing that I like to do when I start coloring in the brow, I take my pencil and I like to start underneath. My starting point is always going to be here. I'm starting on the bottom in that corner and I'm just flicking, and I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the pencil. The more pressure you put on the pencil, the darker the pigment. In other words, if you don't want to look like you have a fat ass marker on your forehead, make sure you're light-handed with this sucker. Very light, and I'm just flicking it to the side, and I'm stopping at my arch. I'm going to look up a little bit in my mirror just to make sure that this bottom line is as straight as I can get it. If you mess up, do not worry. We're gonna clean up later. Right now, your goal is to fill in that brow with the amount of color that you want. You want to follow the natural shape of your brow. We're just focusing on lining the bottom of your natural shape, and I am flicking it all the way to the end of my brow. So again, the product is only on the bottom part of the brow. I'm taking my time being light-handed with it because I want to make sure that the bottom line is straight. We're moving to the top. I am going to start here. I'm just doing the same thing on the top, right above the line of my natural brow. If you prefer a higher brow or a smaller brow, this is the time for you to decide how big you want it. I'm reaching my arch now. I have a lot of baldness going on here, guys, so you're gonna see in this tutorial how I'm focusing most of the pigment in the bald areas. Now, I am just dragging it down to meet this endpoint here. We just did the line. We didn't fill anything in yet. This is the Benefit KaBrow pomade. You open it like this here, and the product looks like this. So pomades usually come like in a little jar type of a thing. The KaBrow comes with its own brush here. Isn't that cute? And then you just dip it. It's an angled brush. You can see I have dug into this sucker. This is very loved here. I'm taking my little brush with the pomade product on it. When you put product on a makeup brush, it doesn't matter what product it is and it doesn't matter what brush it is. The first place that you land that brush is where you're gonna get the most pigment. I want more color in my bald areas than I want in my filled natural area so that the overall brow looks even. I'm gonna just take this, and you see how I have hair here? I'm not starting there. I'm starting over here because there ain't no hair up in here. We need to fill this sucker in. And I'm just dragging the product to the arch of my brow. You have more control when you're building up the color. I'm going to add more color because this piece right here is extra bald. We got some brow going on here. So far, so good. I'm not putting any extra product on this brush. I'm going to take it with the angled side facing in. I am taking the brush and I am flicking it up. Just so you guys know, this is hard. This is hard to do this on camera. We have the brow on. You can see how much product is built up there. That's where your spoolie comes into play. This is going to blend all the product. There are two reasons that I use a brow setting gel. When I'm using a product to fill color in my brows, I prefer a clear brow setting gel on top. It's not going to alter the color that I just applied on minimal makeup days, especially when I am in a rush and I don't have time to do all of this crap on my brows. But I still want my brow to be a little fuller looking than this sucker right here. I'm gonna use a tinted brow gel. This one is the Gimme Brow from Benefit, and this is the shade 4.5. You can use this by itself just so that it's combing your brows and you're filling them in with a little something something, but it's not gonna give you a full defined brow like this. All right, we're back here. On that note, I'm going to use a clear brow setting gel. This one is from Nars. This one is one of my favorites. I'm just lightly brushing up in the front corner of the brow and brushing down, following the natural shape. When you are applying all these products on your brows, you want to do some sort of a cleanup just to make them look nice and fresh. I love to do my makeup before work, so I'm usually in a rush. If I were to use this to clean up my brows, I would need some kind of a brush to wipe it and to blend it down. I don't usually go for concealer to clean up my brows. So for that, I love to use the NYX Wonder Pencil. This is in the shade medium. This thing is so small because I use it all the time. This is my NYX Wonder Brow Pencil. All I'm doing is focusing it right under the line that I drew. Keep it going all the way under. It's up to you if you want to also do that at the top, but me personally, I don't usually do that. I like to flick it in the front. A lot of this, guys, is your preference, but I'm showing you what I like to do with my brows, and I'm hoping that these tips will help you jumpstart on how you do your brows. So I'm going in with a regular Q-tip Q-tip. I'm going to start underneath, trying not to touch any of the color, lightly blending that concealer pencil out. In the front of the brow, I'm not doing anything different. I'm just taking the Q-tip and blending that out. Now, I'm not adding any extra product here, and I'm just swiping it above and bringing it down to my liking to see how thick or thin I want them. You can always go back in with more color and fix whatever, you know, whatever needs to be fixed, but this is pretty much the steps. All right, guys, so this is the brow I was able to pull off in this video. Please note that I do a much better job when I am strictly in front of my mirror and not trying to squeeze my eye in this little ass camera view. This is my regular brow, no product, no nothing, no love, no nothing. And then this is our new and improved, holy crap, look at that brow. It is Snatched. Hello, Nelly. Brows make a big difference for the face. I hope I did a good job. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click here so you can check out some of my other videos. And I'll see you guys later on. Have a great day. Bye.